Alright guys, welcome back to the What's Update. My name's Elijah. Here's a review for Mass Effect Andromeda. Why am I getting to it so late? Why am I reviewing a game that people do not like? Well, Mass Effect means a lot to me. I can look over here at a poster on my wall and it is a picture of the Normandy. So, Mass Effect Andromeda. Let's get it out of the way. Not a great game. Not good at all. But what I want to say is I really still like it because it is just more Mass Effect. So, part of it's just being in the world again. Part of it's the mechanics, the gameplay. Tons of fun, the way you level up your character. I don't think that they made a misstep as far as the gameplay, the mechanics, the leveling. There are a lot of mistakes, and we're going to talk about all of that. But first, I just gotta rep the Toon Squad real quick. It's got to be known that I am the starting 2-guard of the Toon Squad now. Always. Okay, so the revelation that I had about this game, and I think why I like it so much, because I originally played it when it came out, and that was in the time of Breath of the Wild and the time of Horizon Zero Dawn, and me personally, I was having more fun with the beginning of Mass Effect than I was with some parts of Breath of the Wild. I was enjoying... I know that it's nowhere near the masterpiece that those two games are, Horizon Zero Dawn or Breath of the Wild. But me personally, I was just enjoying being back in Mass Effect because I like sci-fi more than fantasy. Bows and arrows and swords and shields don't excite me in the same way that laser guns and space powers do. So that's a part of why I was enjoying it more. But what I realized that it's so crazy to me, and I read a story on Kotaku about the tumultuous, the troubled development of this game, and what they went through, and how many recycles, refreshes, and how many changes they went through with this. So I do feel bad for them, and I feel bad for the fans too. That EA's got to put something out. They've invested so much money into it, so I get that. But it's just tough for the developers, and it's tough for the community, and it's tough for the fans that they put something out in the shape that they did. It's unbelievable that some parts of this game aren't even as polished as Mass Effect 1, and the jump in quality from Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2, and then the refining and the honing they do from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3 is just very impressive. I'm going to talk about the entirety of this game, so it's full spoilers. But I'm actually insulted about the ending of this game because... And maybe I'm not insulted. They heard, I think, our complaints about Mass Effect 1, that the things and the people that you collected... Or, I'm sorry, they heard our complaints about the ending of Mass Effect 3, about the people and the things that you had collected throughout the 3 games ultimately didn't mean anything. There weren't cutscenes showing them. There weren't little moments where they popped into the gameplay. Why am I fighting the entire threat of the galaxy with only 2 other people when I have this squad of amazing murderers with me? And so those are a lot of things that, I think, kind of make the ending of the game of 3 feel a little bit slappy in the facey, because there's these things, all these things that I had collected and done, and choices that I had made ultimately ended up being a percentage at the end of Mass Effect 3. Whereas in this game, they ended up being characters on screen. They ended up being people that popped in. They ended up being cutscenes or guys over the comms or having dialogue, and that was really cool. That was really great if it was Mass Effect 3, but it's not. And I barely know these characters, and I really don't care about a lot of them, and I did not remember half of their names. People are showing up, they're like, oh, here, I'm here, because I did this with you, and I'm like, did you? Did we? Did we do that? I don't remember doing that, because I did a lot of the side quests, a lot, except for the broken ones, because 5 of them broke on me, and I couldn't complete them. See, it's just so tough, because every time I want to praise the game for doing something, there's another thing that's just, I'm reminded of, that's just wow, the animation, unacceptable. The engine, unacceptable. When I say the engine, I mean the rendering and the visuals of the characters, the way that they changed. How do you mess up how the Asari look? They looked very sci-fi and very angular and very, very, very specific. And they do not look like themselves. They look like a human face was slapped on the front, and it's protruding from then them just adding on the Asari headdress part to the back of it, and it's just so jarring that the Asari look so different from how they looked in the rest of the series. The nonsense that why are the Hanar not here? Why are the Elcor not here? Why why are the Batarians if there's oh, the ship that had them is coming in a few years? That's a bullshit excuse. That's bullshit. I'm sorry. If you had all these original and cool characters and you're you need to keep the cool alien species in the game. It's unacceptable in my eyes that you did that. And plus, you come to a new galaxy and there's only 2 new types of aliens. That just seems insane as well. They really needed to invest in Andromeda, the galaxy, and there needed to be 2 to 3 unique species to that area, warring with each other, helping each other, feeling different ways about you and your crew. That needed to be something that happened, and it didn't, and it was upsetting because there was only just one new species, and it was pretty forgettable, especially, it's just pretty unforgettable. The main thing is getting back the other pathfinders for the other Nexus ships, or the other colony ship things, and reestablishing your home here in this world. I would say the open world aspect of it is like, hey, you go to a planet and you can do stuff. That worked for me fine. The enemies are fine. The variety between the robots and the collector-like dudes is fine. The scanning is a little bit irritating. But like ultimately, I still really like the game because it's Mass Effect, and it was just fun to play. Even if the story was pretty weak, the lead character, pretty weak. The way the Ryder twins look is just kind of whack. They don't look unique in any way, and they're just that default Dan Everyman shooter character, and I wish they had some unique quirks or anything about them, but they're just so blank slate. And I know that we're playing it, we're the character, we're making the decision, but it doesn't mean that they can't have their own spice and sauce to them. And that, I think that's something that the series really lost and is lacking, because I'm pretty speciest when it comes to the game. I never use humans on my team. I always use aliens because the humans are whack, real whack. Liam, so whack. But I use Vetra a lot of the game, and Drac, I think, yeah. I went Turian and Krogan because they were the coolest. PB is fine. We banged it out in like a little zero-G sex scene. That was weird. I didn't mean even intend to do that. But she's like, hey, you want to just do something that means nothing? I'm like, well, I've got time. So that was a weird one. But ultimately, the characters in this game, pretty forgettable. I really wanted to like the Solarian pilot dude. Did not. It's hard to live up to Joker. I wanted to like these people, and I just didn't. And that's tough. And if you can't like the people that are in your crew and actually there's no way you're going to like the third, secondary, ancillary characters. It was rough. It was rough in like trying to feel anything for any of the characters in this game. And I don't know if that's because it's new and it's different and we fear change and we're like, oh, what are they doing? They got to prove it to us. I wonder if that's a part of it. But the thing that I've realized, because ultimately I still really enjoyed my time playing the game. The thing that I've realized is I think this game is kind of like the B horror movie genre. So Mass Effect would be the AAA version of a horror movie, like your prestige slashers now. Your It's coming out, your previous, like, The Purge and things like that. You know, I don't mean in quality. I just mean, like, you know, you have your main line, like, this is a real horror movie. And then you have your B movies where it's like, this is a goofy, like, this is a play on, there's going to be blood, it's going to be... I think they should have marketed Mass Effect Andromeda as a B Mass Effect game, like a B video game. Because ultimately that's what it is. And I don't mean that as an insult. I actually mean it as a way for my brain to cope with how terrible some of the decisions are and some of the... just the bugginess of the game. The animation is unacceptable. But just in my brain, I see it in the same way I see a B horror movie, where you know you enjoy it, you laugh, you have fun because it is what it is, and you know going in that it's gonna be not as quality, but there's still gonna be enjoyable parts. And that's what I feel like Mass Effect Andromeda is. I feel like it's a B Mass Effect game. It's a B horror movie. It's the B horror movie of AAA sci-fi games. That's what it is. Because the mechanics are still good. There's still reasons to play. There's still fun decisions. Except for the Mass Effect, Twitter ruined one of the decisions for me because I hadn't beat the game yet. And it was like, did you choose this or this? Or did you help this person or this one? I was like, dude, what the balls? That's like the only major decision in the game, and I didn't even get to make it. But also, there didn't seem like there were a lot of consequences from it. So you guys were like not plotting or planning ahead for multiple games. And I know the series is on hiatus now because of the way that this game was received and the way it came out and I imagine, crap it did for sales because of how poorly it was reviewed. But, you know, that's ultimately on them. I feel bad for the developers. EA should have held it more. They should have refined it. They should have changed it. They should have had more people contributing to this. And I know there was tons of turnover with the studio managers, with writers, with all these things. But when you have something that was as successful as Mass Effect, you can't roll it out like this. You can't do this. This is Spider-Man 3, right? You had the Spider-Man franchise just doing gangbusters, blockbuster numbers, selling more. And the ultimate damage that Spider-Man 3 did to the Spider-Man franchise is still hurting Spider-Man today. Amazing Spider-Man, I still thought good movie, but it underperformed because I think people had that Spider-Man fatigue from Spider-Man 3 and how bad that movie was. And everyone saw that movie. It did, what, 150 million in its opening weekend? And the new Spider-Man, Tom Holland, best Spider-Man movie that exists, it only did 115 million. And that's because we have Spider-Man fatigue. And the thing with games is, it takes years between when they come out. And I think some people had Mass Effect fatigue because of the way that 3 ended in the... We were upset with it, and then the news cycle that went around that, them updating the game to fix things or add more. And then, this game comes out, and it's not firing on all cylinders, and it's clear that there's a problem there, and I think that they had to have known there was a problem, and they just crapped it out anyway. It's something where you've done, I think, irreparable damage to the franchise and to the reputation of the series. I would love to see a Mass Effect movie. What? Woo! My body wants to get the Mass Effect out of me. I would love to see a Mass Effect TV series in the style of Star Trek, but that's not going to happen now because of the dive bomb that it's done in the culture and popularity. I hope that there's someone somewhere at EA is making a more intimate, focused Mass Effect game, something different within the realm, because that world deserves more love. It deserves attention. Mass Effect is amazing, and I'm looking at a Garrus pop figure right now. I can see him right here. I have 3 pop figures in my room. 3 of them. Well, sorry, I have an entire wall of Game of Thrones ones up there, and I have my Kingdom Hearts, Donald, Mickey, and Goofy, but they're like the keychain size. But I have 3 regular pop figures that aren't a part of the evil collection that I have to collect. I have Wally, I have Spider-Man, and I have Garrus. And I used to have like 100 pop figures, and I got rid of most of them because I didn't need them. But in my brain, I couldn't get rid of Wally, couldn't get rid of Spidey, and I couldn't get rid of Garrus because those are my guys. Mass Effect is one of my foundational games. It is my 3rd favorite game of all time. Mass Effect 2 is. I think the first game has the better cover-to-cover story, but Mass Effect 2 iterates, changes, and makes everything about 1 better. You can't really beat the story from 1. It's just too awesome. The decisions you make, the way it plays out. So freaking good, Saren. You're the bomb. But Mass Effect 2 is better in every way. They add more characters. They bring back what we love. They add more in. It's just a solid freaking game, and it's just such a shame that Andromeda is the way it is. Ultimately, I would say it's still worth a play, but go into it having the B-movie expectations. I think you'll leave a little happier. Know that some quests will get bugged out and you'll never be able to complete them. Know that a lot of the characters are pretty whack and the new alien races are equally dumb. But just know that it's... If you like sci-fi, if you like Mass Effect, it's pretty fun. I still enjoyed it. I did a lot of the side quests, and I just had fun just doing more Mass Effect. The new movement mechanics they add, the boosts, the side slides, all good, all solid stuff. But personally, everything in the package just leads it to ultimately to be a failure, even though I still rather enjoy it and ultimately recommend it to Mass Effect fans. But I just can't recommend it to any old gamer out there, especially people who actually like open world games, because it kind of dips its toe into that area, but then it goes back into like on rails missions, or the singular kind of movement there. But let's give it a score, because that's what you do in reviews, right? Okay, so I want to give Mass Effect Andromeda a 6 out of 10 on the Elijah scale of just made it up now. So yeah, 6 out of 10, because I still enjoyed it, but I can't give it the old recommendation. But yeah, 6 out of 10, Mass Effect Andromeda. Okay, guys, thanks for watching the What's Update. Thank you so much for being here. Keep smiling. Have a wonderful day. Got comments, concerns, put them down below. And then, I got to sneeze again. What's the thing you do? You say cucumber? Is that it? Cucumber, cucumber, cucumber. See? Oh, that works. Wow. I don't have to say it anymore. Weird. Cucumber? I don't have to sneeze anymore. Blah. That's crazy. Okay, but like, share, subscribe, do the thing, and thank you for watching the What's Update. You have a fantastic day. And I said all that already. But I had to sneeze, so I got confused. Ah, man, this is a weird one. I'll be back with Castlevania and Glow reviews later on in the week, and you can watch all my Game of Thrones content as well. You guys have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.